Pre-order now on Kickstarter.
Greetings, fellow beings. Welcome to another episode of Making Generation Genocide. I'm Remy Saki, and I'll be showing a couple of pages of Generation Genocide, Chapter 3. This episode will also be, people have asked me, what is Generation Genocide really about? So I will be talking about that. As well, I will be talking about the addition of a public domain character in Generation Genocide appearing in Chapter 3. A public domain character who's pretty trendy right now, and we'll get to that pretty soon. People ask me what Generation Genocide is really about. So that's the first order of the day. And we're going back to the first issue here, the first few pages. It takes place in a not too distant dystopian future, the year 2051, where it's very common. Pretty much everybody uses and has cybernetic implants, smart technology in their bodies which interacts with the technology in the environment. Because of this, people are hackable, and the world is experiencing a cyber attack crisis, as is depicted in the first scene of the first issue of Generation Genocide. As the story unfolds, we're introduced to secret operatives who discover that a tyrannical corporation, which is proposing the solution for the current cyber attack crisis, are actually the ones who are behind the cyber attack crisis in a problem, reaction, solution fashion. It is action-packed, and it's also heavy on the satire. It's, kind of like for fans of RoboCop, Total Recall. It's got that cyberpunk, sci-fi, satirical feel, and very violent, very over-the-top, very extreme. So now moving on, pages from Chapter 3, as promised. We have Smoke Ring in action. The Psycho's back. These pages are new and fresh. And as I said, we have a public domain character who is a legendary Russian / Soviet creation, created by independent artists under the tyranny of the Soviet Union. Octobriana. She's very trendy these days in the indie comic book world. And here she is, making her appearance in Generation Genocide, Chapter 3. You can pre-order Chapters 1, 2, and 3 on Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is going strong. $25 gets you Chapters 1, 2, and 3 in print. Now featuring guest appearance of Octobriana, created with communist ideals, so she has no copyright, no trademark, public domain. She's also featured in the comic book Octobriana 1976, which is being released. There's lots of hype about that, and I guess I'm jumping on the hype train. But there's a twist to my version of Octobriana. She is perhaps not exactly who she appears to be, but you would have to read that to find out. So, thank you very much for joining me again for another episode, and we'll see you guys again next week.